Or is it? No, that's the right camera. Hey, what's going on, everyone? You guys there? I'm going to write something here. We are live. Hey, let me know if you guys are here. Type something in there. This is my first time going live. I'm going to read off someone who posted just about 2 hours ago. All right, so that's chicken flavored waffle loving Lucifer. Here's what she wrote. She wrote, they are very much, she's talking about Narcissist. She watched one of my videos. She wrote, they are very much like an alien from another galaxy, not even demonic. Well, I think they're demonic. She says, it's more like they're completely void of any feelings at all, no good or bad. They are empty bodies, just mechanical and programmed just to destroy everything that cross their path. If you possess something, they are programmed to desire. Okay, so I didn't read that very well. So they're empty bodies, just mechanical and programmed just to destroy everything that crosses their path. If you possess something, they are programmed to desire. It's an abyss inside their body and minds. Nothing is there. It's a machine inside, no feeling, no love, no hate, no depression, no fear, no joy, no anxiety, no feelings, nor good or bad, sheer emptiness. They are from another planet, and I'm going to discuss this in a minute. She says she was with one for 3 years. I didn't know what the F, so what the fuck it was. I couldn't define it until I started doing research and did every single thing in the and he did every single thing in the diagnostic criteria and more, down to the exact verbiage that others also tell us on the educational material I found. Thank you. By the way, the movie, from the video I was talking about, she says the name of the movie is Interview with a Vampire. If you haven't watched Interview with a Vampire, watch it and then realize that's what narcissists are doing to people. One of the things is they will sting you. They will sting you in your solar plexus area, gut, heart area. And what it does is it makes you escape up here, because when you try to go down, it hurts you, like, ow, ow. So I'm going to ask questions about whether people have had that happen in a second. I'm going to call it the giant sting. It's like a giant wasp sting. I'm going to take notes so I don't forget that. And she goes on to say, so by the way, the movie is Interview with the Vampire. That is my narc's favorite movie, she says. And little did I know what was lying ahead for me. We actually watched it on our first date. How odd it is that you mentioned this. I was talking about me and mentioning it in the video. The video she's responding to is Destroying the Narcissist, the Invisible Enemy #1, Get Your Power Back. She says, this is my narc's favorite movie, blah, blah, blah. Little did I know what was lying ahead of me. We actually watched on our first date. How odd it is that you mentioned this. More confirmation that indeed he is one, because at times I've doubted my own judgment about his actions and contributions to the toxic relationship we had. Wow, thank you. I thought she had another reply. All right, so here's my question. Am I being too loud, by the way, Amy? Actually, I can figure it out for myself. All right. Amy, if you're still there, kind of make a little response. I would appreciate it. Galactus. All right. All right, so I'm just going to talk through this with that. Sorry, this is a little bit different for me. So basically what I wrote in response was, you're very welcome. I'm sincerely glad it helped. Yes, they are alien-like. like the Silver Surfer who sucked the life energy from planets as he surfs by them, you are noticing how narcissists are all programmed the same. Kind of trippy, isn't it? Like they have the same basic programming and overall patterns, slightly different but very similar, like programmed robots. Um, so that's what I wanted to talk about for now. We can talk about other stuff, more like a whole hornet's. What do you mean by a whole hornet's nest? You mean the sting? I think there's a delay. That's all right. I think I got to learn about the delay because you can set a delay. I think no, you're fine. Oh, okay. All right. So when you said more like a hornet's nest, are you talking about when I'm talking about the sting you get like in your solar plexus area? Is that what you mean, Amy? Oh, we've got a whole 4 people watching. Awesome. So I'll let you respond. So yeah, I think I have about a 30-second. I'm ahead of you guys. So if you've ever watched, I can't remember the name of the movie, but there's a character. It's like the whole like superhero thing, and he's called the Silver Surfer. And what he did was he used to go surf the galaxies, the universe. And I thought he was the one doing it. At least maybe in one movie they showed that it was. I want to pull it up here. Says the Silver Surfer is a humanoid alien with metallic skin who can travel through space with the aid of a surfboard-like craft. Originally a young astronomer named Norin Rad on the planet Zenla. He saved his homeworld from the planet Devourer Galactus by serving as his herald, imbued in return with some portion of Galactus power, cosmic, blah, blah, blah. So basically he went around the universe and he was like, he would find different planets for this Galactus character to come along, and he would literally suck the energy from these planets. Okay. So okay, what do you mean awful over and over again? Oh, there's a delay. Yeah. I'm going to have to learn more about that. So the reason why I'm talking about this Silver Surfer and this Galactus guy is because that other person, let's see, what was her name? She had a long name. Chicken flavored waffle, loving Lucifer. So she was talking about how they're like mechanical and they're not even demonic. They're how did she say it? They're more alien-like, and that's what. Okay, here's my thought. So my last person, Narc, it was like that. It was like they were just like they had this like just I don't know what you call it, like a statue like look on their face, and it was like they were sucking the life out of me just by being in their presence. Did you have that kind of experience, Amy? Yeah, we got one hell of a delay here. Gotta figure that out. I think I can go here. So I'll wait for you to respond. I don't think I can change it now. I don't want to mess with it. So I guess all what I was going to say was I talked to someone else a couple days ago, and it might have been you, Amy, but I don't think it was you. They were talking about how this experience with this last narc they had was unlike anything they'd ever experienced before. It was like they just drained them. And so the reason why I bring this up is because that's exactly what it was like for me. Was like, okay, like I can look back on my family, absolutely narcissist, all of them. My first girlfriend, definitely in my 20s, that girlfriend for sure was she had every single thing. And I did feel drained, from my family, but it was nothing like this last narc. And I could think of a person I used to know here where I live in the same town. It was supposed to be a business associate. He was going to help me with my business. He delayed everything for months and months and months and months and months. And he drained me too, for sure. And then there was another person that was kind of he was a client and he was in between that guy. And he drained me, but it was nothing like my last narc. And I guess that's what I want to ask you, or you guys, it could be you, Amy, or anyone out there, is do you feel, or did you feel an absolute, like you just felt like it was different than anything before? No response. All right. So I don't know. To me, that was a really big deal. It really kind of freaked me out. Like the experience for me really sucks. So let's go to another subject. You guys aren't responding to that one very well. All right. So let me pull this up. I'm going to look at our conversation. Let's see if I got it. Yeah, I've got it right here. All right. All right. Let me start out with this. One of the things I hear from people that call me or email me is, well, how can I tell if they're a narcissist? Well, I don't think that's really the goal. All right. Like, yeah, it's really good if you can be like, whoa, that person's a narcissist. Like, that's a really good thing. And you can learn how to do that for sure. I'm reading what you're writing, Amy. Oh, yeah. Let me turn this up a little bit. Nobody cares about me. Nobody gives a damn what you think about anything. Yeah. Just constant behavior. Yeah, that's exactly. So when you say nobody, I think when I say over and over again, I mean like it's constant. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to go to that next. Let me say this first piece. And I'm going to respond to what you said, because that's something that was exactly what I went through. So I wrote down, if someone hurts you or is disrespectful, just get rid of them. They won't change. They're just showing who they are. Real change takes real effort and time. Lots of time. Like, for example, my narc showed up after 5 months of me blocking him and like, boom, I'm done. See if I'm, modificata, I'm done with you. And 5 months later, because I blocked him on everything, so just out of the blue, he showed up at my front door. And I was like, whoa, like, fuck. I wasn't sure if I should yell or scream or call the cops, get the fuck out of here. But one thing I knew was he kept saying, because he was sending me letters, and he was sending me gifts in the mail. Swear to God, every 3 weeks I'd get a gift. And he kept saying, well, look, if you just listen to me, if you just let me talk, if you let me explain, there's something you don't know. And he kept saying that. And so I'm like, okay, what now? So I figured, you know what? I'm going to let him completely talk. And I told him that. I go, you're going to completely talk, get it all out. That way you don't have any excuse to say, oh, I've got one more thing that you don't know. And if you knew this, right? And so I literally let him talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So because at that point, then I could say, no, we're done. And for me, okay, here's what it did for me. Now, I'm an NLP trainer, Ericksonian master hypnotherapist, timeline therapist, energy healer, etc. But in the NLP, you're writing right now. I'll read everything that you're writing in a minute. Yeah, they are like Satan. Is you learn languaging patterns. It's all about languaging patterns, okay? And so I'm blessed because I watched when he would deframe me, reframe me, and negate me. And I'm like, because this is everything I'm taught. I'm certified in all this stuff. And I'm watching this guy do this going, whoa. So one thing that we are trained is to look for it when people do this stuff unconsciously, because unless you're trained in it, you could be an English major with a master's degree in English. You still wouldn't know what this stuff is. This is unconscious processing. Okay. And so when he came back after 5 months, I just watched him, and I watched it because at this point I was completely conscious. This dude's a narcissist, no question about it. And it was a different experience. All my anger and fear, gone. Because I was watching this guy and I was like, he literally can't not use techniques and tactics and strategies and manipulation and negation and devaluing. I mean, he just every single, and I was watching in absolute awe. I was like, wow, like he can't not do it. And what I realized at that point is, okay, so one thing that I specialize in is left brain and right brain communication, and also lower reptilian brain communication and awareness, etc. And I realized he was so far in his reptilian / left brain that it was the only way he knew how to communicate. And one thing that we learn about narcissists is at a very young age, they get hurt. And so they escape from their emotions, which means the right brain, that's the emotional processor, and they go into the left brain and hide down into the reptilian brain. So they're very instinctual, predatory creatures. All right. So as I was watching this guy, it was like a machine, because the left brain is the mechanical machine brain. It's the business brain. It's very good at business strategies, tactics, everything a narcissist does. That's what the left brain does. It's about rules, structure, and organization and logic. So they tend to be very logical creatures, but they tend to be very logical without the ability to see the bigger picture and do abstract thinking. So they can be very logical about one piece of the puzzle, but they can't connect it with another. So they can totally study this and then study this, and it's separate. They don't have the ability to what's called amalgamate, which is just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. They can't do that. That's a right brain function. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to get to everything you're saying, Amy, in a minute. All right. So that's why I did that, because in my mind, we're done. It's, you can't call back. You can't talk to me. I let you speak your piece. We're done. That's it. Okay. So let me finish this, and I'll get to your messages. And thank you for messaging. It makes me feel loved, by the way, like I'm not here all alone. It does feel like, oh my God. So a lot of people will come to me and ask me, like, well, how do you know when someone's a narcissist? Like, well, that's a pretty in-depth question. So here's what you really want to look for, because this is the lesson of a narcissist: is they're going to disrespect you. They're going to treat you like shit. They're going to cut you down. They're going to play mind games. They're going to gaslight. They're going to do all of it. The goal isn't just to not be around a narcissist. The goal is, if anyone, a narcissist, someone who says they have narcissistic traits, someone who is an asshole, someone who's just a mean person, a bully, it doesn't matter who or what they are. If people disrespect you, if people are not kind to you, if people are not loving and compassionate towards you and just treat you really well, get them out of your life. If they're rude, if they're a jerk, if they play mind games, you don't need to know if they're a narcissist. You just need to know, like, wow, this person doesn't treat me well. See you later. Done. You don't need to know why. Don't even try to ask for that question. Don't do it. Just be like, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Because a narcissist wants you to discuss it so they can negate every. I'm telling you, no matter what you fucking say, they will negate every freaking thing. And in their mind, they won the argument. And as most compassionate, empathic people are like, oh, well, okay, I guess I was wrong. No, don't discuss it with them. Just be like, I don't like people. Okay, here's the ultimate thing. If you feel insecure, if you feel embarrassed and you don't know why, if you walk away from an experience with, let's say, a friend or an associate or someone you know, or husband or boyfriend or whatever, and you always feel bad, you feel tired, you feel exhausted, you got a headache, you can't think, your brain's kind of scrambled, and it's like because one of my narcs about 10 years ago, I always I couldn't think, I was like confused. You know what? If I get any negative emotion around someone, even if I don't know why, because here's the thing, narcissists are smooth. They are slick. And they're not obvious as to what they're doing. But if you learn this stuff on narcissist abuse and you learn their tactics, you see it. Like, I see it really quick now. I'm like, oh, okay, you're one of those. And I'll either call them on it or I'll just walk away. Like, yeah, I'll say don't call me. Well, why? I don't want to talk to you. So it's real fast. So I guess my overall point is, even if you just feel bad around someone, you should leave. You shouldn't be around them. And then you'll start to discover, like literally like this. You start to discover you can feel good around people. My delay is long. Yeah, it sucks. Messages are just repeating. Oh, okay. So this is like the energy, like this to me is a reflection of myself. I have a very clear, clean, white energy, and people love to be around me. And so when you cut out dark people, negative people, you get away from them, all of a sudden you start noticing other people, and they feel better. You just feel good when you're around them. And that's the way it should be. Okay. So I don't want to beat. So I think I'm going to talk about, all right. So yeah, that's funny. The messages are repeating. I'm going to have to learn how to figure this out. I'm so sorry. Oh, I don't know why it's not working well. Maybe we'll burn some sage. Maybe it'll help out. I'm probably going to have to learn how to do that OBS. Computer. All right. All right. So here's what I want to talk about then. All right. Oops. All right. All right. So this is what I want to talk about. So you were talking about earlier today with me. My ex couldn't grasp the concept, always did things as a huge distraction rather than seeing the beauty of, wow, the love of life, of my wife is probably what you meant, is doing for us. Well, the joke's on him. He never believed in me, and that's why it ended. So as I emailed you back, it's not that he didn't believe in you. It's that he didn't believe in himself, okay? And he doesn't love himself. So there's a concept called projection. I know a lot of us have heard, but I don't know to what degree that most people actually understood it, because I heard it in psychology class a lot. And yeah, there's no winning with them, yeah. And I didn't really understand the concept because nobody really broke it down. And the more I understood it, one day I was like, literally, it's like there's like a movie projector, you know, like you put a film in there and you project it onto the screen or onto the wall if you're in class. And what I realized with narcissists is what empaths, compassionate, loving, good people do is we're good people. We're very loving. We're very kind. We're very supporting. We're very giving too much, and especially to the wrong people. But we project who we are onto the narcissist. Now watch this. The narcissist also mirrors us. So it's like a mirror. They copy. If you cross your arms, they'll cross their arms. If you say hello, they say hello. If you use the word powerful, they'll use it in their sentence. They literally start using your values and your rules and your beliefs, and they begin to feed them back to you. That's something that we're taught in NLP. And I've got my manuals, they're big, thick manuals right down there. And values, rules, and beliefs is really important to people. And sometimes you might have beliefs that conflict with each other. And this is why we learn it. So we go in there, we find out what beliefs you have, and like, oh, you've got two opposing beliefs. And so it's like, oh, I want to get rich, but money's the root of all evil. So it's like you got like this tug of war going on, right? Money's not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is, let me back out of that, because this was actually kind of part of our conversation, is narcissists will mirror you, not only with their body language and their tone, they'll begin to copy you. They will watch your Facebook page. They'll notice what you believe politically. They'll notice what kind of comedy you're into. They'll notice what your favorite song is, like say you post on Instagram, and they'll watch all this stuff, and then they'll start, they'll feed it back to you. Like they'll play that song when you're in the car with them and stuff like that. And it's like, oh my God, what a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. It's all planned. It's all a strategy. So when I get like all these coincidences with someone I just met, or within a few weeks or whatever, that's a red flag for me. I start watching them, like, because that's love bombing, right? So, all right, here's my point of all that. It confuses your brain because, number one, you're projecting who you are onto them, and you're like, oh, they're so wonderful. That's what empaths do until they really grow up and snap out of it and become super empaths. And on top of that, they're mirroring you, and it's like you're looking at yourself and you're listening to yourself. And the one thing they taught us in NLP is when you gain rapport with someone, you gain rapport with their unconscious mind, not their ego. It's their unconscious mind. So everyone, and what they taught us was everyone loves themselves. We do. Even if the front of our brain is taught usually by a narcissist, you're bad, you're no good, you're this, you're that. And so this part of your brain, we'll call it, starts to think, which is technically here, that, well, watch this, that I down here, I'm no good. So that causes a conflict. So technically it's between here and called the unconscious mind back here. And that's what a narcissist will do. So in the beginning, though, they do mirror you in the love bombing phase, and you're projecting who you are onto them. And then once they realize your unconscious mind is in love with this illusion, this mirror. Remember, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the most beautiful of them all? This is that movie or show was about narcissists. So once your unconscious mind falls in love with that person, it's like almost falling in love with your own child. It's like falling in love when you're a teenage girl, teenage boy in high school. You're bonded. Now they turn. Now they start being mean to you. Now here's what you do. Because your heart is open to them, it hurts really bad, number one. Number two, you want to convince them that you're good, right? So you get caught up in that because you're still projecting yourself onto them. In fact, a lot of times your friends will be like, what's wrong with you? Why are you with this person? They're mean to you. And like, what are you talking? You'll even defend them because on an unconscious level, you're looking at them like they're you. How can you turn against you? That's what's going on. So that's why a lot of people, you hear usually about teenage girls or women in their 20s or maybe even early 30s. Well, I'll change them. My love will, or empaths, my love will heal them, right? I'm just as guilty of this, by the way. And so it's because on an unconscious level, we think that is us. We're not conscious of it. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start talking about your responses, and I'm going to talk about congruency, and that's where I'm at right now. It's a very fluid place. It's awesome. All right, so let me look at this. Gifts in the mail, super creepy. Oh yeah, gifts in the mail is super creepy. Yeah, that honestly, the first one creeped me out. Oh my! In fact, one of them, I think it was the second or third one, was sent to me through someone else, through their name. I don't want to get into that. I'm not going to talk about that. My excitement of building my company from day one, every detail I would share with him, never happy, never interested, but was only worried about the money aspect, then flipped it around on him. Forever sad, depressed, so my focus was then on him and only him. Yeah, well, that's what they want. They want it on them. And that's why they want to ruin your goals, your dreams, and financially. So you're dependent on them. So you totally focus on them, and you love them, and you're beautiful and you're wonderful. And that's part of the mirror, mirror on the wall thing. They constantly, and I know you know this, pretty much anybody on here knows this. So yeah, I don't want to, then they flipped it around on him. Yeah. All right. So let me talk about this. All right. Hey, I'm gonna wait for you to respond. Amy, do you know what an anchor is? Or the third person on here, do you know what an anchor is? It's an NLP term, by the way. And technically, it's a hypnotic technique. Same thing. And I'm gonna wait a little bit. When I play this back to myself, I'm gonna see how much the delay is, and then I'm gonna go in and figure out, watch some videos on how to fix it. Yes, total illusion. Yeah, you're way behind me. I'm literally about 3 or 4 minutes ahead of you, at least your responses. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about what an anchor is. Okay, I'll give you a real life story. Okay, this is good. And let me know if you can hear me. Actually, I can do it right now. Never mind. I want to make sure I can hear it good. Yeah, that sounds good. Wow, that's a 30-second delay. Okay. I'm gonna have to go in there. I think you can change it. So, all right, let me tell you what an anchor is. All right. An anchor, all right, it's one of the main techniques we use in NLP. So usually you see the hypnotherapists snap their fingers, but here's what they're doing. We are trained and taught to ask certain questions to lead people into an emotional state, and especially to become associated. In other words, dissociated is when I used to grab a picture, it's not up there anymore, but I used to have a picture of me and my goddaughter, and I'm looking at me in the picture and my goddaughter. That's disconnected, so that's dissociated. That'd be logical, right? Associated would be, I was with my goddaughter. We were taking pictures for her volleyball. Like all the parents were taking pictures with their children, their daughters technically, because the girls' volleyball team. And now notice I've got my hand here. It's like I'm associated. So my goddaughter's right here, and the camera would be over there, and her volleyball coach was actually over here. So I'm associated. I'm in the movie, and the basketball hoop was right above behind us about 2 feet. So now I'm in the gym. So when you're in the moment, in the movie, that's called associated. So we're NLP people are taught and trained in hypnosis. We're taught and trained to get people associated. And then what we do is we anchor them. Could be a snap of the finger. It could be a touch. So it can be any of the 5 senses: see, hear, feel, smell, and taste. All right. And it can also be a word or a phrase. It's any way that it can get into your 5 senses, through your eyes, through your ears, through your feelings, right? Through something you smell and something you taste, okay? What we generally use, though, is the first 3: see, hear, feel, see, hear, or feel. Now, let's say you've got, okay, here's kind of a sad way to explain it. Let's say you got a kid let's say he's 15, 16 years in high school, and his dad died suddenly, had a heart attack and died, and the kid's really sad. And at the funeral, everybody's crying. And what most people do is they'll come up and they'll kind of pat him on, right on this side or that side of the shoulder, right? Like that, right? Like, hey, man, I'm so sorry to hear about your dad. Boom, boom, boom. They tap him right there. And so 5, 10, 15 people do that when he's in this, just crying and crying. They're trying to console him. But the problem is that literally becomes a link, like a URL. If you click on MikeColeen.com and click it, it goes to my home page. So this link, this URL will take you to a page when you push it. That's an anchor, all right? All right. So I'm just reading what you wrote. So you can do that with the 5 senses, and you can do it with a word or a phrase. So, well, because you can hear it, that's why. So they pat him on the back and they say, so sorry to hear about your dad, or so sorry to hear that, right? So let's say, I don't know, 2 years later, he's or maybe 3, he's a senior, let's say, or maybe in college, and he's over his dad's death. Well, he's in a good mood one day. Everything's going really well. He's kind of bebopping around, and someone comes up, hey, what's up, man? And he pats him on the shoulder, the same place, and all of a sudden he literally will start crying. I mean, tears and everything. And his friend's like, whoa, what's going on, man? You were like happy a second ago. What are you crying for? What happened? Well, they triggered that anchor to absolute sadness, like an intense emotional state. Well, you can do this in really positive ways too. And that's what we do. We can touch someone's knuckle. We can, maybe touch them here, or maybe it could be like on the shoulder, or back here or wherever. So what I'll do with a client is I'll usually touch them on the shoulder, and I'll say, can you remember a time when you were absolutely happy, absolutely motivated? time when you were just having the time of your life. Like, well, yeah. I go, you got a specific time? And they're like, well, yeah, I got a specific, well, last week, blah, 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 blah. And they start laughing. They're like, yeah, I feel really good. And I'll anchor that in. So let's do it this way so you can see it. So I'll anchor that in, right? So if I anchor it here, when I go back to fire it off, I can't do it over here or here or here. I got to do it right there. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? Kind of like a keyboard, like on J, like those are anchors too. So if you press K, K will come up, right? So now we connected an emotion of absolutely motivated, inspired, and fired up, and you anchor it, right? Now watch this. Let's say the next day he's really sad. And I'm like, hey man, what's up? He's like, oh, I'm really sad, blah, 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 blah. And I go, boom, and I hit that anchor on the right spot, and he goes up, he goes, oh, I feel good now. That's what an anchor will do. And you can do it to laughter. With most of my clients, I will anchor laughter to death. And then I can see him 5 years later. I used to do it to a dog clicker, a certain snap. I could do that. Anything. It could be visual, auditory, something you could hear, or it could be a touch. All right. So here's the really cool thing. So he's in a sad mood. I've already set the anchor the day before, let's say. And he's really feeling bad. And the minute I fire that anchor off, not only does it put him in a good positive state, it also links to the sad mood. And from that day forward, if he goes in that same sad state, it'll fire off that positive anchor and he'll go in a positive state. All right. All right. So I had a girl, I was early on, like I was about 24 years old. I'd been doing this professionally for about 2 or 3 years, maybe a little more. And a friend of mine had a girlfriend who was really depressed. She was, the doctor was like, oh, you're a manic depressant. They were putting on Prozac, and I think it was lithium. And I think sleeping pills. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was sleeping pills. And so, let me blow this out. It's getting all smoky. And so what happened was she was really depressed. And I mean, unbelievably depressed. So all I need to do is find out the trigger. Okay. I need to find the very first thing that triggers that whole thing, right? So I have to go through this question and answer phase and answer questions and dig. And turns out what it was it was her mom's voice. Whenever her mom said, Stephanie, it was almost like, I can't quite do it, but I'm close. So it's Stephanie. And it wasn't her mom being mean or nothing, but she used to say, I hate my mom. I'm like, and luckily this was before I knew what a narcissist was, because my automatic response now is they're probably a narcissist. Okay. So something about that didn't seem congruent. Sorry about narcissist. And I was kind of talking to her about it. And I'm like, it's kind of weird that a girl that young would hate her mom. And so then when I found the trigger, it literally, all it was one day she was in a really depressed state. She was really upset. I think she said she had broken up with her boyfriend. Something like that happened. And she was just unbelievably sad. And her mom called her name in that certain tone, and it got linked up. It was like that anchor, but it was an auditory anchor. All right. And I'm going to come back around the narcissist. So what happened was I got the exact tone. The minute I did it, she went into a real sad state. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I got it. And I had it. So here's the cool thing. So then what I did, I changed her state of mind, had her look away, look up, that break state, look down, like pay attention to your left knee, touch your left knee, because that break state, look at your left knee. And I started asking her, like, when's the last time you laughed your ass off? She said, oh, well, me and Robbie, we went to this rave and blah, blah, blah. This guy slipped in the mud. He had white jeans on, and we were laughing. And so I was anchoring it. I think, I think I did it like that. Oh, And she's laughing and laughing. I go, well, when's another time when you absolutely were just laughing your ass off? And she did another one. No, this is called stacking anchors. And I'd be like, And she's just laughing and laughing and laughing. And then I said, tell me another time when you and Robbie first met, what was the first time you just started laughing hilarious? She's like, oh, it was this time Robbie did this really stupid thing. He made an idiot of himself, but it was so cute and blah, blah, blah. And she starts laughing. And I had her describe it in detail. And I went, And I kept anchoring. I go, And she's laughing. So then what I did was like, okay, look over there, break state. And then I said, then I did her mom's voice. I went, Stephanie. and she just instantly went down. It's like a robot. It's like a fucking robot. It's like pushing a button, and she literally almost started to cry. And then I went, because that's anchored to the stack. I stacked that anchor like 10 times. And she just looked up, her eyes dilated, she popped open, and she's just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And I went, Stephanie, and she's laughing. And now her mom's voice is linked to the stacked anchor of laughing, right? It could be any emotional state we chose. And so all of a sudden she's laughing her ass off. And so what happened was, all I'd have to say is I go, okay, look over there, break state. She goes, okay, I'm sorry. She kind of calmed down. I go, so what I want you to do is just imagine your mom calling your name in that same voice and tone. And she just burst out laughing. And that's how I knew I didn't need to be there to fire off that anchor anymore, because it was already set. So she could walk away for the rest of her life and never need to see me again. And that anchor, her mom, by doing that voice, would make her laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh, putting her in a positive state and connecting all those positive emotions to her mom's face, her mom's eyes, her mom's look, her mom's everything. It connects all that positivity to the mom. Now the mom becomes this positive anchor, not just the voice or the tone, but the mother herself, the way she moves, everything. All right. So early on in the research, I had found out that she had anchored this to light switches in her home and to the front door. So whenever she'd come home, the door handle would do it, and the door knocker. So I started to look at the door knocker, Stephanie, and then boom, that would trigger that positive laughter. Look at the door handle, Stephanie, and then boom, it triggered the laughter. And we did it to the light switch in the bedroom, the light switch in the kitchen. And then I started connecting it to other things like the bathroom sink, the kitchen sink. And I said, what's something that your mom does that really irritates you, right? And then I would go, and I'd fire off that same anchor, and it would connect it to that too. So here's what happened. 3 days go by, and her mom calls me up. She goes, I don't know what you did, but my daughter is back. And they were both laughing at the time. So here's what happens. When you have uncontrollable laughter, the person that you're laughing with, it doesn't matter. When you have that overwhelming laughter, it just spreads like, I don't know, like fire or whatever. The mother started anchoring to Stephanie too in a very positive way. And they became extremely happy from that day forward. And it turns out her mother took the three of us and Robbie out to dinner. And it turns out she went to school with my mom, high school. It was kind of a cool story. So now, when you set an anchor like that, it begins to generalize, right? Like when I touched the kid in positive state, and then it connected to the sad state with Stephanie, to where her mom's voice began to be the positive anchor. So you take that negative trigger and then you link it up, and it becomes a positive trigger. All the negative triggers became positive triggers or positive anchors. So I'm not going to go too in depth on this. Oh, that voice. So I'm not going to thank you for posting it. I really, really appreciate that. And anyone else, if you're out there, let me switch over. I actually flipped off that page. So we have 3 on right now. I don't know why we have more. So, what was I going to say? Oh, okay. So I want to go quick over this because I want to keep it on the positive vibe right now. Is narcissists do it in the opposite way. They set anchors on people in a negative way. Pretty fucked up, huh? And then they'll generalize it. Okay, so I'm gonna say this real quick. I made a video, but I don't think most people got it. At least you'll get the benefit of this, Amy. So what a narcissist is doing is they're gonna do. I call it the triangle of death. All right. So here you are. Let's say this is you, and you've got a passion. You've got something you really, 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 really like, right? And you're gonna go to the beach, or you're gonna start a business, or you're doing your business and you're building it and growing it. Well, here's what the narcissist will do. They're going to do what I did, but in the opposite way. They're going to start an argument while you're doing your passion. And now that frustration, that anger, that negativity gets connected to your passion. Going to the beach, connected to your passion, right? So let's say your passion is going, like, I love the sun. I fucking love the sun. I love the beach. I love warm weather. I love the heat. And so, all right, fine, fuck it. What my last narcissist did, and it was a whole fucking mind fuck. The whole reason why I was going down there, it was 400 miles away, was to find a place to live, which we never did. And he tried to explain that shit away. So I'm not going to get into that. Fuck it. So the other thing was to go to the beach, to kind of get a refresher, go to the beach and hang out, meet some people. Oh, we met nobody. It was a nightmare. But the point being is, what they do is, every time I said, well, we're going to be the beach days, it was like, no, we're going to do something else. And every time I bring it up, it's like, dude, what's your problem? I'm like, what the fuck? Right? It was a negative thing. And it got worse and worse and worse, to where then he humiliated me in front of his friends, some people I just met, never fucking met him. And actually, I think it was the second time we met him, if I remember right. And it was the fifth day that I was there. I'm like, and we were at lunch with these people again. It was like, dude, like, it was like 2.5 hours into it. I'm like, hey, the sun's still up. It was like 2:33. Like, we're going to go to the beach today? He goes, dude, what's your fucking deal? Like, you act like a little kid, always talking about the beach. And I'm like, dude, I brought it up one time today, all the time. But the point was, it was to humiliate me in front of these people. So now I'm thinking, go to the beach, humiliation, go to the beach, frustration, go to the beach, argument, right? And so all that's getting connected. So now this is the triangle of death. Once that's anchored in, now this becomes the trigger, and it anchors you. And let's say this is your solar plexus or your gut, your emotions. So the minute you think about, I want to make money, I want to be a superstar, I want to be a singer, I want to start my business, I want to go to the beach. Now what's inside that is pain, and it triggers that inside your body and emotions. So that becomes like a reverse anchor, a negative anchor. And the narcissist begins to smirk when they can see that the minute you think about, I want to write an ad for my business, I want to go to the beach, I want to do the dishes, they'll even do it to things like cleaning. My family did that to me when I was a kid. Like, I used to hate doing the fucking dishes. I used to hate cooking. I mean, I couldn't stand it, because every time I do it, they would come in and they'd argue, and you're an idiot, you're stupid. And because I remember I used to actually have fun doing the dishes. And I'd do this little routine. I'd talk to the dishes. And my brother came and said, what are you doing? I'm like, doing the dishes. What do you mean? I was like a kid. And he just he yelled at me. He humiliated me. And then he went, my brother, look at Mike. He's talking to the dishes. And they all laughed at me. So from that point on, doing the dishes was a very humiliating experience. So as an adult, I ate out a lot. Until recently. I do the dishes. I cook all the time now because I changed those anchors. All right. So let's go here. So I think that was an important thing. I don't want to go too long here since it's the first time. Amy, do you have any questions? And sorry that there's such a delay here. I've got to figure that out. And if any of you out there know, let me see any of you, probably only one. There's only one other person. So if any of you out there know how to use these, what do you call them, applications correctly, I'd appreciate it. So I think I'm going to stop it there, Amy, unless you want to talk about something else. Amy, do you want to talk on the phone? We can do that if you want, because I feel weird because I'm not talking to you. Did you just do the lots of LOL? Oh my God, yes. What was that? Or has that been up for a while? Oh, dancing and singing. I know what I want to say. All right. Now, I am lucky that I'm a pretty tough dude. So I started boxing when I was like freaking 9 years old. I think my first competition was actually when I was 10, right when I turned 10 years old. That was my first boxing match. I was young. And I got into wrestling. I was a state champion in boxing. And I'm not trying to brag, but I'm trying to say I did a lot of fighting. I fought in high school and middle school a lot. Just I was aggressive. I like to fight. I know it sounds funny. I played football in high school and college. I got into kickboxing in my 20s, blah, blah, blah. So I think where I'm lucky is, and I'll wrap it up with this and I'll get off this thing now because I got to figure this timing thing out. I think where I'm lucky is I am not a small person. I'm not a big guy though. but I'm not a small person. I'm a tough guy. I can take a punch, so I have no problem with that. And I can give a fucking punch and a kick and all that stuff and wrestle. I can be extremely aggressive with narcissists, which they don't like. They do not like it. And I think I'm going to wrap it up. Here's the key. A narcissist picks you out of the crowd because you're this nice, soft, kind, compassionate, loving person. They know that they can do this bullshit, right? And get away with it. They know that they can get away with it. Someone like me, now that they got away with me for many years, not the last one, but the ones before, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I kept thinking, oh, well, I'll just talk to them and say, well, I don't like it when you do that. Like, they're laughing like, yeah, I know, that's why I'm doing it. But now when people are rude to me, I don't care if they're narcissists or not. I'm going to be a dick. And that's okay. Here's my point. I'm not going to be a dick to anyone anytime, or I'm like, okay, I got to say this. I'm not saying look for people to be a dick to. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying if someone starts pulling like these mind games on you and they're, being negative and they're cutting you down, they humiliate you and they gaslight you, but boom, don't let that shit slide for too much. Call them on it one time and say, whoa, what the fuck is that? No, don't do that. Like, you got to be like rude. You got to be like in their face. Don't be nice. And here's the reason why. They picked you out because you're soft, and they want to get you so beaten down because they know that the reason why they picked you is you're not going to kick their ass physically. You're not even going to verbally humiliate them. In fact, you're going to do the opposite. You're going to tell them they're beautiful, they're wonderful, they're amazing. I'm sorry that you got hurt at work and I had nothing to do with it. It's all my fault, and you can yell at me for that, right? They want this soft little ball that they can literally kick around. And then you worship them and tell them how wonderful they are and thank you so much for only beating me 10 times and putting me in the hospital twice this week. No, you don't do that shit. When people are rude to you, you got to be abrasive. You got to be pokey. You got to be like this sharp, spiky thing that is like, they're like, whoa, fuck, I don't want to mess with this. Holy shit, this is painful. And it's in my series that I call How to Sting the Narcissist. I think that's what I call it. Let me grab it real quick. Ding dong, ding dong. Bam. Okay, here we go. It's in the series Dominate, Sting, and Destroy the Narcissist. Just be rude. If there's something weird about them, they got an oblong head and they're insecure about it, then say, you got a really weird head, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I know I lied to you before and said that there's nothing wrong with it, but dude, it's weird. So just start, because the thing is, they're not going to want to come around anymore. All right. They're not going to want to come around if you're not this soft, cuddly little thing, because that's why they picked you out. They needed someone to love them, to tell them that they're wonderful and everything they do is okay. All right. I'm going to end it with that. Amy, do you have, you had a message held for review. Does it have a cuss word in it? Let me see. Oh yeah, the cuss word. Oh, I don't care. Hopefully I showed it up. Yeah. I guess I can give you my phone number. Let me think. I'll give you my landline. I got 4 people watching. Oh my god. Oh, Cammy. Hold on. Let me talk to Cammy for a minute. Give me 1 second. Hey, Cammy, we've been on for about an hour. I think exactly an hour. I want to see if there's a time on here. Yeah, 59 minutes. So we're about to bail, Cammy. I'm doing good, by the way. Don't really know what to say. Sorry you missed the whole thing. This is my first time going live, and apparently there's a big delay, and I don't know how to fix it, so I'm gonna have to figure that out. So hopefully I can find someone who knows how to do this and we can figure it out. So this is my first time. I'm gonna Amy call. I gotta turn. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Oh, it's on. Oh, Evie, we're about done right now, Evie. We've been on for an hour. Amy, unless you mind hanging out for another 10 minutes so some people are just starting to come on now. Oh man, everyone's coming on. I got 6 people now. God, I got a crowd. Hey, everyone say hello. Let's see. We got Amy. We got me. We've got Cami or Cami probably. And then Evie. That's 4. So there's at least 1 or 2 other people. Go ahead and post. I'd appreciate it if you guys would post and say hello so I can figure out who it is. Okay, Amy, let me just talk for a few more minutes, Amy, and then I'll end it because it's because there's such a delay. It's kind of an awkward thing for me. I got to talk to other people. Maybe that's just the standard thing. I think that might be standard, and I just have to get used to it. But it makes me wait for days. All right, so I think Evie or Evie, I think it's Evie. She's going to take a shower, so she's probably not here. And Kami, now there's 7 people. Hello, everybody. We go ahead and say hello. I would appreciate it. Go ahead and just type in there and say hello. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Oh my God. I keep forgetting to put this in all my videos. I'm gonna like this. You know what? Yeah. And then after this, I'll get off. I'm gonna do a little bit more sage. Fire. Fire. All right, folks. We'll light the candle. Get the fire started going. All right, so when the narcissist showed up it was just before Christmas, about 2 days. Hey, what's up, Hans? Right on, Hans. Thank you. Whoever else is out there, go ahead and post and just say hello. I'd really appreciate it so I can see who's on here. This is my first time going live. We've been on for an hour and 2 minutes, and we're probably going to get off. I mean, I'll talk a little bit if Amy doesn't mind. Let's see what else. All right, so the narcissist shows up, and I had blocked him on all my social media. Well, like a good narcissist, they made a fake account. And the other person on here probably is the narcissist, by the way. I'm serious. Because I think I've got Hans, Amy, Evie, Kami, that's 4, and then me, that's 5. So there's 6 on right now. So it's probably the narcissist. So he literally told me, he goes, yeah, I'm still following you. I'm like, well, I blocked your channel. He goes, yeah, well, I got it. Well, obviously you got another channel. I don't think he verbally stated that, but he did. And I double checked, and it's definitely in the blocked category. And it was just kind of creepy. And to prove it, he said, yeah, you were talking about this in this one video and this and this and this and that. I'm like, the thing about it is like, it's not even me being mean. It's more like, just go your separate way, man. Go your path. I'll go my path. I'm doing good. And it's just, okay, Amy, let me ask you this, and I'll kind of shut up. Or any of you, Kami, Evie, whoever, don't you think it's kind of creepy for him to tell me that? He's also been doing it on Instagram, but I'm not much of an Instagram person. I tried to do it when I was down south, and it's not my thing. But maybe, you know what? Maybe if I get you guys on there, then maybe I'll get into it. If you guys want me to get, hey, Kami, thank you for saying hello. There's a delay, by the way, a pretty big delay. I think it's about 30 seconds or maybe a minute. So this is my first time, so I got to learn it. So don't you guys think that's creepy that my narcissist is still following me? And that, what do they say? What do they call them? They call them, they stalk you on social media, and he does. So I just think for him, it would be better if he just goes his own way. Because I think it makes them suffer a lot more than what they need to. And it's like, I don't want them to suffer. It's like, I just want you to go on your way. I have a gut feeling the 6 oh, now it's 5. Yeah, they just left. I think it was them. So So Hans, are you saying, yeah, you think it's creepy that he was still following me even though I blocked him? Made a fake account? Oh, someone came back. We got 6 now. So if anyone asks a question, I'll continue. Otherwise, I'm going to end this in about a minute. And then Amy, give me another 2 minutes and then you can call me. Oh, yeah. So Hans said, yeah. Hey, Hans and Kami, do you guys want me to upload this video after? I don't think I'm going to do it tonight because I'm tired, but maybe I'll do it tomorrow because I know it's going to save it in the edit thing, the live streaming. It might upload on, this is my first time, so they might upload on their own. I don't know. So, okay, yeah, you want me to upload the video? I guess it's not that bad a delay. Hans is responding pretty fast. Yeah, Amy, I think for some reason, hey, Hans, do me a favor. Go ahead and say hi, Mike, or say yes. That way I'll know how long the response is. If you can do it like as fast as possible. So I'm trying to see what the delay is. I think Amy, I think you're more delayed than other people for some reason. Yeah, Hans is about 15-second delay, so that's normal. I think that's normal. But Amy, I think you're super late. All right, so yeah, Amy, you're so far behind. It's not even funny. I don't know why you're delayed. You're here in America. Hans is over in, I think, Hans, I forgot. I think you said Norway or Sweden. I think Evie's in Norway, and I think you're in Sweden. It's going fast. All right, cool. Yeah, Hans is responding really fast. All right, so it's not me. It's Amy's connection. Amy's so far behind. It's not funny. Oh, you know what I think it is? I think sometimes you guys can start later too. Okay, I get it. Hans is in Sweden. Awesome, brother. That's really cool. That you're responding. I hope my videos have helped you, Hans. I don't know what what you've been through. You haven't really shared much, but I hope my videos have helped you, and I really appreciate the support right now, guys. If anybody has a question, go ahead and ask it. I'll hang out for about another minute or two. And if not, then I'm going to get out of here. Okay, I'm going to get out. Yeah, it's good, dude. All right. All right, cool. All right, so I'm going to get out of here in about thanks Hans. Yeah, Hans is right on it, dude. You're about a 15-30 second delay, so Hans is right on it. So I'm going to get out of here in about a minute. Yeah, Amy's so far behind. All right, cool. I feel a lot better now, though. All right, I'm going to get out of here, people. God bless you. I'm going to give you 30 seconds if anyone's got a question. If not, I'm literally going to look at the clock and give it 30 seconds. I'm going to get out. Oh, Hans, by the way, there's another video coming out tonight. I think tonight's video was pretty cool. Let me double check. Some of my videos I really like, and some of them like, I think it's going to be a short one. Let me, so that's going to be just under 2 hours. Yeah, it's about 4 minutes, and that's scheduled for tonight. So that's coming out. So it's a short video. I know. I just like the last 2 videos, and the one that's coming out now. Okay, folks. Yeah, Hans. Amy says hello. You probably already see that.